Hi everyone. I will continue answer the question on Day of the Dead.
Friends? No, not really. They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Who was sitting around the graves?
They were sitting around the graves on Day of Death's ancestor.
That's right. Families were sitting around the graves. Whose graves were they sitting around? Whose
They were sitting around the graves of Death's ancestor.
graves were they sitting around? Yes, their dead ancestors. Their ancestors. Their ancestors' graves. They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. Were they sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors or the graves of their friends?
They were sitting around the graves of their ancestors.
Ancestors, right? They were sitting around the graves of their dead ancestors. They cleaned the graves and added fresh flowers. Okay. Who cleaned the graves?
Family cleaned the graves.
That's right, the families. What did they add? They add
They ate, drank, and chat together. They laughed and smiled.
added fresh flowers. Did they add food? No.
No, they didn't eat food.
They didn't add food. Did they add money?
No, they didn't add money.
No, they didn't add money. They added fresh flowers. What did they clean?
They cleaned the graves.
They cleaned the graves. Whose graves did they clean?
Family cleans the graves.
Their ancestors, right? They cleaned their ancestors' graves. Where did they add flowers?
They add flower in ancestor.
Where? Oh, they added flowers to the graves. That's right. They cleaned the graves and added fresh flowers. Good. I walked through the cemetery and admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers. Where did I walk?
I walked through the cemeteries.
Through the cemetery. I walked through the cemetery. Did I walk through the park?
No, I didn't walk through the park.
No, I didn't walk through the park. I walked through the cemetery. Where did I walk?
I walked through the cemetery.
Through the cemetery. Who walked through the cemetery?
I walk through the cemeteries.
I did. AJ. I walked through the cemetery. Did I walk through the cemetery? Or did I walk through the park?
I walk through the cemeteries.
I walked through the cemetery. That's right. And I admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers. Did I admire the beauty?
I admire the beauties
of the trees? No.
No, I didn't admire beauty of the tree.
I didn't admire the beauty of the trees. Did I admire the beauty?
Yes, I admired the beauties
of the children?
No, I just admire of the beauties of the children.
No, I didn't admire the beauty of the children. What did I admire?
I admire the beauties of the all colorful flowers.
Flowers, right? Yeah, I admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers. Who admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers?
I admire the beauties of all colorful flowers.
That's right. AJ, me, admired the beauty of all the colorful flowers. Where were the flowers?
The flowers were the graves.
On the graves, right? Or in the cemetery. Right? The flowers were on the graves in the cemetery. Were the flowers in the park? No.
No, the flower was in the park.
Oh, they weren't in the park? Were the flowers in my house?
No, I wasn't flower in my house.
No, they weren't in my house. Where were the flowers? Oh, the flowers were
The flower in the graves, on the cemeteries.
on the graves in the cemetery. Where did I walk?
I walked through the cemeteries.
I walked through the cemetery. When did I walk through the cemetery? November 1st.
I walked through the cemeteries on the day of the dead, November 1st.
The Day of the Dead. Right, November 1st, the Day of the Dead, I walked through the cemetery. What was the cemetery like? Like a party.
I like a party in the cemeteries.
It was like a party. The cemetery was like a party. Was I curious about this holiday?
I was curious about the holidays.
Yes, I was curious about this holiday. Which holiday was I curious about?
The holiday was the Day of the Dead.
Yeah, the Day of the Dead. I was curious about the Day of the Dead. So I walked through the cemetery. There was also color in the sky because many kids were flying kites. Where was the color? In the sky, that's right, in the sky. Why was there color in the sky?
Because the kids were flying kites.
Oh, because kids were flying kites. The kites. There was color in the sky because kids were flying kites. Who were flying kites?
The kids was flying kites.
Kids. Kids were flying kites. Was the sky colorful or was the sky gray?
Sky was colorful.
The sky was colorful. What was colorful? The sky, right?
The colorful is the sky.
The sky was colorful. Why was the sky colorful?
Because kids were flying kites.
Because kids were flying kites. What were the kids flying? Kites. That's right.
The kids were flying kites.
Right? The kids were flying kites. Where were they flying kites?
They were flying kites in the cemeteries.
In the cemetery. The kids were flying kites in the cemetery. Who was flying kites in the cemetery?
The kids were flying kites in the cemeteries.
Kids, right? Children. Kids were flying kites in the cemetery. Some families were having a picnic next to the graves. We, in the United States, don't do this. So some families were having a picnic next to the graves. They ate, they drank, and they chatted together. Did they eat? Yes, they ate. Who ate?
Families ate.
Families, right? Of course, families ate. What did they eat? Huh?
They ate watermelon.
They ate Guatemalan food, right? Food from Guatemala. Right? The families ate Guatemalan food. Did they eat American food?
No, I just didn't eat watermelon fruits.
No. No, they didn't eat American food. They ate Guatemalan food. Where did they eat Guatemalan?
They ate in Guatemalan graves,
Food.
cemeteries.
In the cemetery, right? They ate food in the cemetery. They ate Guatemalan food in the cemetery. They also drank in the cemetery. Did they drink water in the cemetery?
No, I didn't drink water.
No. What did they drink in the cemetery?
They drank beer in Guatemala is the cemetery.
They drank beer. Who drank beer?
Family drank beer.
The families drank beer. What did they eat?
They ate Guatemalan foods.
Guatemalan food. They ate Guatemalan food and drank beer. Did they drink beer or did they drink water?
They drank beer.
They drank beer. Where did they drink beer?
They drank beer in the cemeteries.
They drank beer in the cemetery. When did they drink beer?
They drank beer in the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
November 1st, the Day of the Dead. They drank beer. When did they eat? They ate.
They ate in the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
On November 1st, the Day of the Dead. Did they chat together? Yes, they chatted.
They chat together.
Together. Who chatted together?
Family chat together.
The families, of course, the families chatted together. When did they chat together?
They chat together on the Day of the Dead, November 1st.
Yes, November 1st, the Day of the Dead. People laughed and smiled. In the United States, cemeteries are always somber. Are cemeteries happy in the United States? No. Never. Cemeteries aren't happy in the United States. Cemeteries are always somber, sad, and serious. Are cemeteries serious in the United States? Yes, they are. In the United States, cemeteries are always somber. They are always serious. In the United States, are cemeteries somber or are cemeteries happy? Somber, right? Cemeteries are always somber in the United States. Was the cemetery somber in Guatemala?
No. The cemetery was somber in Guatemala.
No, it wasn't somber in Guatemala. The cemetery wasn't somber in Guatemala. But in the United States, cemeteries are always somber. Are cemeteries always somber in Guatemala or in the United States?
They were somber in the United States.
In the United States, cemeteries are always somber. Where are cemeteries always somber?
Cemeteries were always somber in the United States.
The United States, that's right. In the United States, cemeteries are always somber. Are they happy? No. They are always somber. Cemeteries in the United States are always somber. Very somber. We certainly never have festivals or parties next to graves. Do we have parties next to graves? No, we don't. We don't have parties next to graves. Do we ever have parties next to graves? No, we never.
We never had party next to the graves.
Have parties next to graves. Do we ever have parties in restaurants?
No, never. We never had party next to the restaurant. Yes, we have a party in restaurant.
Yes, we have parties in restaurants. But we never have parties next to graves. Do we ever have parties in houses?
Yes, we had parties in house.
Yes, we do. We have parties in houses. But we never have parties next to graves. Do we ever have parties next to graves? No.
No, we had parties in next to the graves.
Never. We never have parties next to graves. Where do we never have parties?
We never parties next to the graves.
Next to graves. We never have parties next to graves. Do we ever? No, never. We never have parties next to graves. Not ever. Never. We don't laugh, or play music, or fly kites in cemeteries either. Do we laugh in cemeteries usually?
No, we don't laugh. We just don't laugh. Next is the cemeteries.
No, we don't. We don't laugh in cemeteries. Where don't we laugh?
We don't laugh in the cemeteries.
In cemeteries. That's right. Okay. I found that I preferred the Guatemalan approach. Did I find that I preferred the American approach?
No, I just don't find I prefer Americans.
Or did I find that I preferred the Guatemalan approach?
I find that I prefer watermelon approach.
the Guatemalan approach. I found that I preferred the Guatemalan approach. Did I find that I preferred the American approach? No, I didn't.
No, I just didn't prefer. I didn't find that I prefer American approach.
I didn't find that I preferred the American approach. I found that I preferred the Guatemalan approach. Which approach did I prefer?
I found that I prefer Guatemalan approach.
I preferred the Guatemalan approach. Did I prefer the American approach?
No, I just didn't prefer American approach.
No. Who preferred the Guatemalan approach?
I prefer Guatemalan approach.
Me, AJ. Right? I preferred the Guatemalan approach. I found that I preferred the Guatemalan approach. I liked the way they remembered and celebrated those who had passed away. Did they celebrate those who were alive?
I like the way they remember, celebrate those who has passed away.
No, they didn't celebrate those who were alive. They celebrated those who had passed away. Did they celebrate those who had passed away, or those who had become rich?
They celebrate those who has passed away.
They celebrated those who had passed away. Who celebrated those who had passed away?
Guatemalans celebrate those who has passed away.
Guatemalans, right? Guatemalans celebrated those who had passed away. When did they celebrate those who had passed away?
On the day of the dead, November 1st, they celebrate those who has passed away.
On the Day of the Dead, November 1st. On the Day of the Dead, November 1st, they celebrated those who had passed away. Who celebrated? The
Guatemalan families celebrate.
Guatemalan families celebrated. Who did they celebrate?
They celebrate those who had passed away.
They celebrated those who had passed away. I liked that they acknowledged death instead of denying it the way Americans do. Who liked that they acknowledged death?
I like that they acknowledge death.
Yeah, me, AJ, right? Me, AJ, I liked that they acknowledged death. Did they acknowledge money, or did they acknowledge death?
They acknowledge death.
They acknowledged death. What did they acknowledge?
They acknowledge death.
Death. They acknowledged death. Who acknowledged death.
Watermelons acknowledge death.
Guatemalans, right? Guatemalans acknowledged death. Did they acknowledge death or did they acknowledge money?
They acknowledge death.
They acknowledged death instead of denying it. Who denies death?
Americans deny death.
Americans deny death. Do Guatemalans deny death?
No, watermelons don't deny death.
No, not Guatemalans. Guatemalans don't deny death. Americans deny death. Do I like that Americans deny death?
No, I don't like that Americans deny death.
No, I don't. I don't like it. I don't like that Americans deny death. But I like that there is life, as well as death, in Guatemalan cemeteries. I liked that. Did I like their cemeteries?
Yes, I like their cemeteries.
Yes, I liked their cemeteries. What did I like?
I like watermelon cemeteries.
Their cemeteries, Guatemalan cemeteries. I liked Guatemalan cemeteries. Did I like Guatemalan cemeteries? Or did I like Guatemalan restaurants?
I like some watermelon cemeteries.
I liked Guatemalan cemeteries. Whose cemeteries did I like?
I like the cemeteries. I like the watermelon cemeteries.
Guatemalans, right? Guatemalan cemeteries. I liked the Guatemalans cemeteries. Guatemalans cemeteries. Whose cemeteries did I like? The
I like the watermelon cemeteries.
Guatemalans cemeteries. I liked the Guatemalans cemeteries. Guatemalans call it the Day of the Dead, but it is also a day to appreciate life. Okay, that is all for this mini story.
Thank you for
This
listening.
was